Carl Jung once observed that the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. The empath loner who keeps no friends is someone who has done exactly that. They have looked into the abyss of their own soul and made peace with the monsters they found there. They don't avoid people because they are afraid. They avoid people because they have reached a level of internal density that makes the typical social theater feel like a distraction from the work of the soul. An empath loner is someone who feels the psychic vibration of others with an intensity that is often overwhelming. In a world of surface-level noise, they are tuned in to the sub-frequencies. They don't just hear your words, they feel the intent behind them. This sensitivity is a gift, but it is also a burden that requires a radical solution, the absolute pruning of the social circle to protect the sacred fire of their own psyche. When Jung spoke of the shadow, he referred to the parts of ourselves we deny and hide. The empath loner has integrated their shadow. They no longer need the mirror of the group to tell them who they are. While most people are socially subsidized, relying on the approval of friends to feel valid, the empath loner is a sovereign entity. They are the only ones in the room who aren't performing for an audience. Society views the friendless loner with suspicion because they cannot be mapped. If you have no group, you have no tribal identity. You cannot be predicted or categorized. This unmappability is a form of power. The empath loner is a ghost in the social machine, moving through the world with a clarity that comes from not being entangled in the webs of mutual indebtedness that define most friendships. The "beware" in the title is not a warning of malice, but a warning of disruption. The empath loner is a truth teller by their very existence. They don't play the diplomatic games that keep shallow relationships alive. If they enter a room, their silence acts as a spotlight, exposing the falseness of the crowd. They are the black hole where social lies go to die. Jung believed that individuation, the process of becoming your true self, is a lonely path. The empath loner is simply someone who has chosen the path over the tavern. They realize that the price of admission to most social circles is the dilution of the self. They would rather have absolute solitude than a diluted connection. They are the masters of the internal void. There is a clinical precision to the way an empath loner observes the world. Because they aren't invested in the hierarchy, they see it for what it is, a game of musical chairs played by people who are terrified of the music stopping. The loner has already stopped the music. They have sat down on the floor and realized that the chairs were never necessary. People often try to save the empath loner, labeling their solitude as depression or avoidance. This is a psychological projection. The crowd cannot fathom a person who is full without them. To the crowd, being alone is empty. To the empath loner, being with the crowd is the real emptiness. Your fullness is what intimidates them. Ultimately, the empath loner is a guardian of energy. They understand that every friendship is an exchange of psychic material. If the exchange is not alchemical, if it doesn't transform and elevate, then it is merely contamination. By keeping no friends, they ensure that their internal well remains pure and sovereign. The psychology of the empath loner is rooted in the archetype of the hermit, but with a modern Machiavellian twist. Carl Jung understood that the collective is a place of psychic infection, where the individual's unique light is often extinguished by the needs of the many. The empath loner is someone who has developed a psychic immune system that is so sensitive it rejects social toxins before they can even enter the bloodstream. They don't just prefer to be alone, they require it for the maintenance of their intuitive clarity. By keeping no friends, they are effectively sterilizing their social environment.
This allows them to focus entirely on the internal architecture of the self, building a temple of the mind that is not subject to the weather of public opinion. This sterilization is what makes them intimidating to the pack. Most people use their friends as psychic buffers. They offload their anxiety, their boredom, and their shadows onto each other in a messy, constant exchange. The empath loner refuses to participate in this waste management. They carry their own weight. This emotional self-sufficiency is a dark asset because it means they cannot be bribed with companionship. They are immune to the gilded cage of social belonging. They have realized that belonging is just subsidized identity, and they would rather pay the full price of being themselves. They are the sovereign individuals of the psychic realm, and their isolation is their incorruptibility.
When an empath loner exits the group, they are committing a grand defiance against the evolutionary script of tribalism. Jung noted that the crowd is a regressive force. It pulls the individual down to the lowest common denominator. The empath loner has broken the leash of the group mind. They are no longer governed by the moral panic or the fads of the day. This independence is a dark psychology tool because it allows them to observe the game with surgical detachment. They can see the patterns of manipulation in real time because they aren't invested in the outcome. They aren't playing for a spot on the team, so they can see the holes in the playbook. This detachment makes them dangerous to social enforcers. The leader of any pack relies on the need to belong to manage the members. If you don't need to belong, you cannot be managed. You are the uncalculatable variable. The empath loner's lack of friends is not a social failure. It is a tactical advantage. It means there are no weak points in their social perimeter. You cannot pressure them through a mutual friend, and you cannot shame them through exclusion. They have already excluded themselves. They have moved the goalposts to a private field where they are the only player and the only judge. The empath loner possesses the asset of alchemical solitude, the ability to transmute their pain into power without the distraction of social comfort. Most people drown their shadows in social noise. They go to parties, bar hops, or group chats to avoid the heavy feeling inside. The empath loner leans into the heavy feeling. They use solitude as a crucible to burn away the falsehoods. Jung called this the nigredo phase of alchemy, the blackening, where the self is broken down to be rebuilt. By keeping no friends, they ensure that the rebuilding process is pure and uncontaminated by the opinions of strangers. This internal alchemy results in a gravitas that is unmistakable. When the empath loner does speak, their words carry the weight of direct experience, not borrowed opinion. They don't quote the crowd, they report from the front lines of the soul. This authenticity is intimidating to the performers of the world. They fear the person who has faced the dark and come back with a light of their own. They fear the empath who has weaponized their sensitivity into discernment. The beware is for those who live in shadows. The empath loner is a walking mirror that illuminates everything it touches, and truth is the only thing they value. A friendless empath is a master of the informational embargo. Jung understood that speech is often used to hide truth rather than reveal it. Small talk is a social lubricant that grinds away the edges of the soul. The empath loner has retired from small talk. They have shut down the export of their internal world. This informational sovereignty is a confiscation-proof asset. By not sharing their thoughts, plans, or vulnerabilities, they prevent the social world from interfering with their growth. They are a black box in a glass house, and their mystery is their security. This opacity creates a psychological void that others find unbearable. People will babble in the presence of the loner, trying to fill the silence with information they shouldn't reveal.
The empath loner listens with total presence, gathering data while revealing nothing. This is the Machiavellian edge of the Jungian hermit. You have mastered the art of the listener, which is the purest form of power in a world of talkers. You know their secrets, their fears, and their shadows, while they know nothing of yours. You are the silent confessor who holds the keys to the kingdom of perception.
The empath loner has dismantled the archetype of the victim within themselves. Most people keep friends to validate their grievances. They want a group to agree that the world is unfair and that they are being wronged. This group venting is a toxic cycle that prevents growth. The empath loner has burned their victim card. They realize that suffering is a private business that must be processed alone. They don't want sympathy, they want sovereignty. By keeping no friends, they eliminate the audience for their drama, which forces them to fix the problem rather than narrate it. This lack of drama is terrifying to emotional parasites. If you have no audience, the parasite has no host. They cannot feed on your pain if you are converting it into power in the secret room of your solitude. The empath loner is self-correcting. They don't need a support system because they have built an internal infrastructure that can handle the load. This resilience is unconfiscatable. It is a result of having no one to lean on, which forced the soul to stand up. You are the one who walked through the fire and found it refreshing, leaving the pack shivering in the cold.
The psychology of the empath loner is a study in self-reflected morality. Jung noted that most morality is just social convention. People do what is right because they are scared of getting caught or scared of being judged. The empath loner has exited the convention. Their morality is internal and absolute. It is forged in the dialogue between the self and the soul. This makes them unpredictable and effective. They don't wait for a law or a social trend to tell them how to act. They act based on what is true in the silence. This moral autonomy is a dark asset because it cannot be corrupted by peer pressure. You cannot convince an empath loner to participate in a lie for the sake of the team. They have no team. They are the team. This singularity of purpose makes them unstoppable. They are the whistleblowers of the spirit, the ones who point out the rot in the foundation while everyone else is painting the walls. They fear the loner because the loner is the only one who cannot be bought with friendship or threatened with exile. You are already exiled, and you have found it to be a kingdom.
An empath loner possesses existential gravity, the ability to stay grounded in their own reality, regardless of the whirlpool of public opinion. Jung understood that mass psychology is a form of madness, a loss of the individual into the hive mind. The empath loner is the antibody to this madness. By keeping no friends, they break the connection to the hive. They develop an internal gravity that is so heavy, the social currents simply flow around them without moving them. They are the still point in a turning world. This gravity is permanent. It is built through years of sitting with the self and dismantling the need for approval. You have reached a state where the opinions of 7 billion people carry zero weight compared to the quiet voice of your own intuition. This is true freedom. It allows you to play the game of life with infinite stakes but zero attachment to the outcome. You are the ghost in the machine who has learned to speak silence, and in that silence, you are finally, truly untouchable. You are the master of the void, and the void is safe.
The Machiavellian aspect of the empath loner is their total tactical flexibility. Because they have no social ties, they have no social obligations. They can move, change, start over, or disappear at a moment's notice. They don't have to check with a group or worry about how their actions will affect their social standing. They have no social standing. They have social sovereignty.
This agility is a confiscation-proof asset that allows them to out-navigate the exhausted crowd who are burdened by commitments they no longer want. This agility makes them impossible to trap. You cannot leverage their relationships because they have none. You cannot leverage their reputation because they don't care about it. They are formless and nameless, moving through the social fabric like a needle, sharp, focused, and unyielding. They are the individual that the collective cannot digest. They are the gray man of the psychic world, blended in but entirely separate. They are watching from the shadows, waiting for the right moment to act with absolute finality.
The empath loner is a curator of the sacred, someone who has refused to commodify their soul for the sake of likes or status. In a world that demands you broadcast your inner life, the loner chooses silence. They keep their truth for themselves, building a wealth of spirit that is safe from the inflation of public discourse. This hoarding of the sacred is a dark asset because it creates a potency of being that the performers can never replicate. You vibrate at a higher density because you contain your energy rather than spilling it on social media. This density is felt by everyone who meets you. It is the aura of the hermit who has found the gold. People crave your presence because it feels real in a world of vapor, but you decline their invitations because you value your solitude more than their admiration. You have won the only game that matters, the war for your own attention. You are the sovereign of the internal world, and your kingdom is vast, silent, and enduring. You have already won. Beware the empath loner is a warning to those who live in the superficial. The loner is a catalyst for crisis. Simply by existing in their authenticity, they trigger the shadows of the crowd. People feel exposed in their presence because the loner doesn't agree to the hidden script. They don't laugh at the cruel jokes, they don't nod at the bigoted opinions, and they don't join the performative outrage. They remain still. This stillness is confrontational. It forces everyone else to look at their own performance and find it lacking. You are the clinical witness to the world's madness. You don't argue with it, you simply observe it. This observational power is permanent. It is wired into your neural pathways. It is yours for life. You are the only one who can stay sane when the world goes mad, because you are already living in the sanity of the void. You have exited the social currency and minted your own. You are asset-rich in a world of debtors. You are untouchable.
Why empath loners keep no friends is because they have found a friendship that is infinite, the friendship with the self. They have integrated the shadow, embraced the light, and dismantled the need for external validation. They are the living proof that a human being is complete in their singularity. They are the sovereign souls in a world of subsidized identities. They have found the gold in the dark, and they have realized that the gold is themselves. Don't look at their solitude with pity. Look at it with awe. They are the architects of their own reality. They have reached a state where the world's noise is just static in the background of their deep peace. They are the ghost in the machine who has learned to speak silence, and in that silence, they are finally, truly untouchable. Your mystery is your wealth, and your solitude is your fortress. You are sovereign. You are whole. You are indestructible.
The next time you feel the cold breath of society's judgment or the weight of being alone, remember the vault you have built. That tension you feel is just the world trying to find a way in, but there are no doors. You have sealed the perimeter. You are the only one who can let yourself in or out. You are the master of the key. Your silence is your statement. Your mystery is your power, and your solitude is the final proof that you need nothing to be everything. Hold your internal peace like a weapon. Keep your sovereignty guarded like a flame. And let the exhausted world wonder how you stay so bright in the dark. You have already won. The assets you possess are ethereal, eternal, and indestructible. You are the individual that the collective cannot digest. You are the still point in a turning world. Stay silent, stay sovereign, and stay wealthy in the only way that matters. You are untouchable.